Hello and welcome to Backstage Buzz at the Mac, where you get the inside story on the art scene right from the directors and creators themselves. I'm Diana Martinez, and I'm thrilled to welcome you to another round of wonderful guests to our show. A little later, we'll hear from legendary choreographer Homer Hans Bryant, the founder of Chicago Multicultural Dance Center. He'll tell us all about Hiplet coming soon to the Mac. But first, Steve Scott has returned to give us a preview of what is expected to be a great show from Buffalo Theater Ensemble's next production, The Cake. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you, Diana. It's nice to be here.
Nice to have you. So tell us about The Cake.
Well, The Cake is about, and the story may sound familiar because it echoes stories that have been in the news in the last couple of years. It takes place in a small town in North Carolina, focuses on a woman, Della, who runs a beautiful bakery in this town. A young friend, the daughter of a friend of hers, shows up and is looking for a cake for a wedding. But it turns out that the daughter is engaged to a woman. A black woman, as a matter of fact, and Della, who runs the shop, has very strong religious beliefs and doesn't know if she can
make the cake.
So it's basically a story about that incident, but I think more than that, it's a story about how we, if we differ in opinion, and there are very definite differences of opinion here, how we can treat each other with respect,
right,
rather than condemning. I'm not going to tell you the outcome, but basically each woman holds on to her beliefs and ideals, but it ends in a kind of rapprochement. They love each other, and that love transcends their political divisions. I think it's a very inspiring play. I think it's a very funny play. But I think it's an important play for right now, when we don't seem to be able to do that.
You know, there's going to be people who say, why are we doing this play?
Exactly.
Why would we choose this play? And you know, Buffalo Theater Ensemble chooses their season. And when they presented what they were doing to me, I said, you're going to be challenged. Mm-hmm. Be prepared for this.
Oh, yeah.
And Connie and I talked about it. And what I love about the show is that it doesn't make anybody look dumb or bad or mean or this or that. You really like both of the women in the show.
Yes.
You understand both of the women.
You understand them, and that's the important thing. We don't take time to understand each other.
But it happens in our families,
yes.
right?
Oh my God.
This happens with the people we work with, our families, our friends, where sometimes you're like, I can't believe you believe that.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't believe you believe that. But you know, what are we going to not talk to half the world?
Exactly.
That's not an option.
No,
We've got to find a way to respect each other, have a civil discourse, and say, you do your thing, I'll do my thing.
Right. And the fact is, gay marriage is legal.
Exactly.
But it is not necessarily respected by people who don't condone that. But that aside, the whole demonization, the whole lack of empathy, the lack of understanding, that we can't just disagree now. We have to kind of condemn the people that we don't agree with.
Right.
And I think that's true whatever side you're on, unfortunately. And that is what leads to the decay of our society and our world. We can't coexist that way.
No. And I like that this gives people an example of like, okay, you know, here's the situation. How would you handle it?
Right.
What would you do? I like a play that makes you think like, and there'll be some people who would say like, well, I'd absolutely never make the cake. And there'll be people like, I'd make the cake, who cares?
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
But I think it makes you think.
Exactly. And no matter whose side you end up agreeing with more, I think you understand where everybody is coming from and what the real issues are, which are not necessarily political issues, but they're human issues. And we have to understand that. Yeah.
Do you have any plans to have talks after the shows to address concerns or questions or?
Yes, I think talkbacks are being, I think there are regular talkbacks, and I'm not sure exactly when they are, because usually when the show opens,
I think they're Sunday nights is what they're planning.
Sunday nights, yeah. And I think there are going to be guest speakers to talk about the issues with the audience, so that everybody can get a fuller understanding about what all of this is really about, and give people a chance to air their opinions, whatever side they're on, but again, to begin a discourse with each other, which I think is incredibly valuable.
Just to open the conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
A conversation doesn't happen now. Yelling happens, and that doesn't get us.
or typing on Facebook
Or
behind a screen.
yes.
Where I think,
Yes.
you know, we all have people in our lives who we love very much. And I think it's when a person in your life who you've grown up with or that you have this deep relationship with all of a sudden says, I think you're so wrong.
Yeah.
I think sometimes we hear them differently than we'd hear somebody on Facebook or something, right? You have an empathy. And I think that's what we have to find is that empathy for each other and that understanding. And that's what I like about this opportunity. I like the fact that we're presenting a difficult conversation and subject, and we're not saying do this or do this.
No, there are no rules.
The play doesn't do that.
Yeah, and there is no prescription at the end. Okay, now you should go. It's not an activist piece where it asks you to go out and march or demonstrate or anything like that. It asks you to listen and to understand. And I think that's the best thing theater can do right now, is to get us to really understand what it is to be in somebody else's shoes. And even if that doesn't necessarily change your opinion, it can change your humanity in terms of how you deal with it. Or your approach. Yeah,
right?
Exactly. You know, we have to keep talking to each other, and we can't just run away and hide behind our own absolutism. We have to understand what's going on.
And I think the issue comes in when certain people say, "But this is who I am, and I believe this, and I'm not willing to, you know, I can't change who I am."
And you can
on both sides.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, on both sides. Yeah,
I'm religious,
definitely.
I'm religious, and I'm not going to go to hell over this. A,
Right.
or B. This is who I am. I'm gay. I can't change that.
Exactly.
So you've got these two people who are like, I can't change. And I don't think anybody has to change.
You don't have to change. You have to understand.
But you have to understand or respect or...
Exactly.
Or...
we're all human beings.
Exactly.
We all have the same...
We have to find this common ground.
Yeah, exactly.
We have to find a place.
Exactly.
There's got to be a
Because
place. There's got to be a place.
And we've been able to do that throughout modern history. We can certainly be able to do that now. We should be.
True.
You know.
So is the baker... She's not her mother, but she's like a mother figure,
She's like
right?
a mother figure, yeah.
So that's what makes this so hard, because she loves her so much.
Exactly. And I'm glad it takes place in a small town in the South, because there is a certain faction that thinks small towns in the South are filled with idiots. This woman is not an idiot.
That's awesome.
She is smart, she is ambitious, she's very good at what she does, and she loves people, and she loves what she does. She's filled with love. But there are bounds. I mean, her religion, which she believes in deeply, constrains her from agreeing with certain things, which I can completely see. And by the same token, the young woman is obviously disappointed in the conflict that they're having and has trouble coming to terms with it, but eventually comes to understand this woman's point of view. So there is understanding that happens when you invest in that, when you honor that, rather than just screaming,
shutting the door, or condemning, as you said.
Right.
How many people are in the show?
4.
And anybody we know in it?
Well, Connie is in it.
Connie Kennedy-Howard is the artistic director.
Yes. And I've worked with Connie before. She's a wonderful actress, which people don't always remember because she's behind the scenes so much.
Right.
But she's playing the baker, and she's going to be fantastic. And then 3 other actors whose names I don't remember right now.
That's okay.
From the company are part of this, and I've seen tapes of them, and I've read their resumes. They're all wonderful actors. I think it's going to be a great cast.
Is this a unit set or several scenes, or?
It's several scenes, but but it's a unit set that kind of moves back and forth. So it moves very gracefully. But the main setting is the bakery shop, which is going to be lovely. And we're now talking about what kinds of cakes there are on display and what kinds of cakes we might want to have at rehearsal just to,
That's right. You have to get into the mood. I think you need cakes, pies, donuts.
Yeah,
right?
I only do plays with food in them now.
Well, it's method acting.
Exactly. So I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
We should get a bakery to sponsor cake after the show.
We've been talking about that. I talked about that with Connie. Maybe we will.
Well, when you think about cake, now I'm like, I want a cake. I want a piece of cake.
I know.
We should have had cake.
Let's end this and let's go somewhere.
Let's do it. Thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure, Diane.
I'm so glad that you are leading this because I think you're going to do it with sensitivity, and that's all you can ask.
Well,
thank you.
Thank
and
you
all the
very
best.
much. Thanks.
Be sure to get your tickets for Buffalo Theater Ensemble's The Cake, running January 30th through March 1st. For tickets or more information, please visit atthemac.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. If you're still looking for holiday gifts, we have some great ideas. Get your tickets for these great shows coming soon to the MAC. Colin Mokry of Whose Line Is It Anyway presents Hip Prop on January 12th. Don't miss the New Philharmonic Orchestra's production of the classic operetta The Merry Widow, January 24th through the 26th. Be sure to come see the Hot Club of Cowtown on February 7th. Time tickets are now on sale for Frida Kahlo 2020, an exhibition experience coming June 1st to the Cleve Carney Museum of Art and the Mackinac Art Center at College of DuPage. Experience 26 original artworks on loan from the Dolores Olmedo Museum, more than 100 photographs of Kahlo's life, a historical timeline, a poetry garden designed by the visionaries at Ball Horticulture, a family-friendly children's area, and more. For more information, visit frida2020.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. Homer Bryant is the founder of Chicago Multicultural Dance Center and the creator of Hiplet, a style of dance that fuses a classical ballet with hip-hop. I am so excited to see the Hiplet ballerinas at the MAC in February, and I'm thrilled to welcome Homer to the show today. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
So, for those of you who don't know, Homer is a legend. And so to have you here is quite an honor. And the work that you're doing, I don't even think you realize that you're starting a new dance form. B, I think this is going to go on for years to come and evolve and develop. And you are the founder of this.
Well, that is my hope and dream. But this all started out as having fun on a Friday evening.
It did?
Yeah, the girls were taking pointe and technic ballet class every single day. And then Friday night pointe class, I started putting on some Michael Jackson, some black violin, classical, some Beyonce. And I'm like, okay, let's try this. Let's move like this. Let's see if we can do this. And they got so comfortable doing it that I started posting stuff on my Instagram. And then, of course, we started getting a lot of flack from your ballet purists. They're not on their legs. They're not over their boxes. But what we were working on is pulling back in the ankles. Classical ballet is ethereal.
Right.
And it's a European art form. Hiplet, because I decided to call it Hiplet, a blending of hip hop and ballet, is earthy and grounded in African and urban and Latin movement. So of course you have to pull back in your ankles to do the duck walk or the Vivian and stuff like that. So we started getting a lot of flack, and then BuzzFeed picked it up. And then we were flown to New York for Good Morning America, and the rest is Hiplet history.
Well, I remember seeing it on Good Morning America, and I saw it was you. I was like, go, go, go. This is so exciting. So didn't just happen overnight. Nothing happens overnight. Then I remember I went and saw, I saw the videos. I'm like, this is awesome. And then I was at a conference, and you were showcasing. And that's when I was like, we're going to be the first one to book this show. I want to be the first one.
Yes.
I couldn't believe the excitement, but it's a whole new art form right here from Chicago.
Yes, and it's not the popular music or classical music. We go from Bach to Beyonce, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So we run the gamut, and we have African influence and Latin influence and jazz and hip hop. And you said it didn't start yesterday. It did not. This was my rap ballet back in the day. I used to do rap and
Oh, you
ballet
did?
together.
Okay.
Yes, you see what I'm saying? So Hiplet is a
It's been
continuation.
evolving.
It's been evolving for 20-something years.
So, Homer, because I had this much dance, right?
Yes.
You know, when I was a kid, I took dance all through grade school. And I know when you're doing ballet, it's all
Yes.
about being, you know, right on top of yourself so you can turn.
Yes,
and this and
yes,
that.
yes.
This is hard because you aren't right on top
No,
of
you have
yourself.
to
The weight
pull-
isn't all
yes.
here. The weight is here. The weight is there. How do you strengthen these girls? Because to me, it's almost like physically, like, how are they doing it?
Well, it's physics. We do a lot of strengthening for point. We do the pencils and the marbles and the therabands. We do stuff on mini trampolines just to get that ankle strength. But if you pull back in your ankles, it's just like your classical ballerina doing 32 changements en point. You have to flex back in your ankles, else you'll go over and break your ankles or hurt yourself. And it's funny because on my Instagram, when I see people speaking to each other, they say, don't do this, you're going to sprain your ankle. So there are a lot of people spraining their ankles out there because they're not properly trained to
Right.
do what my girls are doing.
So
Don't forget,
you
we're-
spend time strengthening
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
And that's what I wanted you to share.
Absolutely.
So how long does it take for, like a typical ballerina, you strengthen them to go on point.
Right.
For this, you're strengthening them to
To
you're
do
changing.
Hiplet.
Right. So how long does it take for you to build these girls up to be ready to do this kind of to go on point, let's say?
One of my girls just turned 21. She's been with me since she was 3.
Wow.
She didn't get on point till she was 12. She's one of my major Hiplet ballerinas right now.
So she got on point at 12.
At 12.
Okay.
She's now 21. It takes a long time. I tell the girls it takes years of practice, concentration, hard work, love, and determination. Now, how many kids want to work that hard? How many kids are that determined?
How often, so that people out there know, how many days a week are these girls in class?
The girls are in class every day.
Every day. For how
Every
many
day.
hours?
3 to 5 hours.
Wow. That is
And at this
commitment.
level, they have their point shoes on every day.
Every day.
Yes. I mean, Saturdays and Sundays they may take a break, but now
Because
that
they
they're
try
growing,
to keep that strength.
Keep the strength. Keep the strength.
What a commitment.
Yeah.
But
It-
it's like being a gymnast or being a, right? If
Absolutely.
you're an athlete.
There you
They're
go.
athletes.
There you go. They really are. They are highly trained.
So one of the things that you're known for is not just you're a really amazing choreographer and visionary, but you love to promote and support kids.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's
Absolutely.
your thing, right? That's where it comes from.
We're constantly trying to pull kids in. Don't forget we're working with African American kids mostly. And they don't have the opportunities that most people have, especially when you come to saying classical ballet. You know, it's a European art form. I'm coming from St. Thomas Virgin Islands. The last thing my mama thought I would be is a ballet dancer. Look at me right now. You know, but I used to pass by the dance studio in St. Thomas on the way to basketball and watch the girls in the window. And then I would also go back home at night and watch black and white TV and see Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers and Gene Kelly, and I would mimic that stuff in the living room. So the natural movement was in me. It's just like some of these kids, you hear the music and they just go, but they don't have the opportunities. And my mama said, we can't afford it. It was my friend, my Hispanic friend, who was there with me looking at the girls. His mama paid for my first 6 months of class.
Oh.
I continued and he stopped. So one scholarship led to another, and then I had the opportunity to come up to New York and join Arthur Mitchell and the Dance Theater of Harlem. And then my career took off.
So what a beautiful story, right? But what you do at the
Most kids don't have that opportunity.
I know. And one thing I love about one of the videos that I've seen is one of the girls said, you know, I used to want to be a ballerina, but never thought I could be. And now these
Absolutely.
girls aren't just ballerinas, but they're like rock stars.
Yes. Funny
And
you
that's
should
so
say that.
awesome.
We've been to Seoul, South Korea 3 times.
Seoul,
We've been
South
to
Korea, and
3
Paris,
times. We've
right?
been to Paris, we've been to Germany, we've been to Spain, we've been to the Virgin Islands.
So they're traveling.
New York Fashion Week, LA Fashion Week, commercial after commercial.
That's so awesome.
They call us the new normal.
The new normal.
The new normal. And I would like to really bring a lot of kids into the fold, like you say, and really make a difference, you know.
Well, and that's why I want to spread the word, right? We have to do
Yes.
it one show at a
Oh,
time,
absolutely.
and I think then one person tells 2 people, and those
There
2
you go.
people, and it because
Yes.
it is so fun, and it's so fun to
It really
watch.
is, it really is. But the girls have to realize, and I keep saying years of practice and concentration. You have to be dedicated like in anything else. You just cannot put on point shoes and
No.
you know. So they're very serious about their work.
And what I like about this is that this gives us girls focus,
Absolutely.
discipline, strength. It gives them so
Absolutely.
many things
Absolutely.
as they're developing.
Yes, yes.
Something to focus on, to stay out of trouble.
Yes.
You know, it's
We
amazing.
have about 25 10-year-olds plus who want to be Hiplet ballerinas.
Oh boy.
Everybody used to want to be a Misty Copeland. That's changing.
You have your
know.
hands full. I bet you have lots of little girls who
We do.
want to be the
We
next
do.
one.
And some of them are so focused and so serious. They're in there stretching every day. They're really working hard to be the best that they can be.
Where's
What do
your
you want to be?
studio?
A ballerina. 47 West Polk. We're
West
in the
Polk.
Dearborn Street Station downtown by Columbia College.
Wonderful.
Yes, yes, yes. 30 years next year.
30 years. And you've taught some pretty prestigious
Oh
girls,
my God.
haven't
I've
you?
had Sasha Malia Obama for 9 years. I even had Mrs. Obama doing trampoline rebounding.
You did?
Yes, yes.
The president was practicing?
The president's wife, the Mrs. Obama. Yeah.
She did?
First lady for a long time. Yeah.
No
yeah.
way.
Oh yeah.
She
Lady
took
Gaga
dance-
have snuck in for private lessons 3 times.
How fun is that?
That is amazing.
Did she want to do hip
That-
play,
well,
Lady Gaga?
She wasn't aware of it then.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So did
Totally
you help
aware
her
of it
do
now.
choreographer, work with her?
No, my floor bar, body alignment. This was after her hip surgery years ago.
Oh, so you were helping her to
Yes,
realign?
realign. That's my specialty too. 'Cause
I did not
had
know this.
You know I had a daughter with cerebral palsy
No.
that never walked off the crawl, but I went back to school for massage therapy and kinesiology. So that is my specialty. I body read you, and I know how to give you the strength to.
Well, maybe I need
That's
to go
why my
see
Hiplet
you.
ballerinas are so strong too.
That's right, because you work
I have
with your
this
daughter.
knowledge of the body and how to manipulate it and make it work for what we have to do.
For what you
So
have to
here's what we do. We use pointe in a way that hasn't been used before. So once you can do what we do, you really will be happy because we figure out a way how to manipulate the body and do stuff on the tip of the toes. We pull back in the ankles, we can duck walk, we can vivian, we can moonwalk, we can do all this amazing stuff. And we're grounded, but at the same time, the upper body is ethereal and classical, while the lower half is just earth, soulfulness, you know? So that's the fun of it, and it's entertainment.
What's your dream with this? What's your,
People, that's funny you should say that because when we started doing commercials and traveling, before we got, I said, you know, Hiplet needs to travel one day. Hiplet needs to be in commercials. Now Hiplet needs to be in a movie.
Yes, it does.
I would love for major fundings and do a Hiplet Nutcracker, which would be a major thing.
Let's work on that.
That's what I would like to do. Every year, Hiplet Nutcracker.
Well, that's not
You know what I'm
hard.
saying?
That we can do.
That's
I
gonna
say we
take
work
money
on
and
that.
sets and funding.
Well, we're
and-
going to figure it out.
Let's
That's
figure
awesome.
that out. You see what I'm saying? And that's
That's
an
exciting.
urban.
And it's Chicago's
And in
own.
Chicago, that's my dream. And of course, Hiplet in
good
the
one.
movies,
I love that.
because we have a documentary on Hiplet right now.
That's amazing.
It's called Hiplet Because We Can.
Hiplet Because
we can. But on my Instagram, every time I post something, I would put discipline equals freedom, hashtag because we can. So it told the people that were very up against us to be quiet, just watch.
That's right.
And this is something my grandfather told me one year before I left St. Thomas to come up to pursue my career. He says, people are going to tell you you can't, and you have to smile.
And say, yes, we
And
can.
in your mind, you're just saying, just watch me.
Just watch.
So that's what we do with Hiplet.
Well, I can't
It's
wait to
speak-
be sure to come see the Hiplet Ballerinas on February 8th. For tickets or more information, please visit atthemac.org or call the box office at 630-942-4000. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you at the theater and next time on Backstage Buzz.
I have some visitors with me from the Couch page, so we're just out doing basic video footage. Yeah, so what's my story?
I am the Director of Operations for the Women's Health and Neonatal Division here at Northwestern Prentice Women's Hospital in Chicago, Illinois. So I'm really fortunate in my career to have had a lot of people open doors for me and support the fact that I started an associate degree program at College of DuPage, which was so valuable. I would say that my experience at College of DuPage was really fabulous because I met a lot of different people from a lot of diverse backgrounds. And for the faculty, they were fabulous. You could go by the nursing office and just sit and talk to the program director, and was just really wonderful because these are the people that encouraged you and opened doors, not only for your professional life, but also in the way you thought.